I should be here because this is what I always do, this is how I always connect to spirits, the one way that I only know how. But as we begin to really expand in the collective, in our own light, we need to break free of these spiritual comfort zones, truly. Hey everyone, my name is Brianna Jolie and I am an intuition guide as well as an Akashic record reader and a tarot card reader here on YouTube, as well as my other platforms that are linked below. This video is brought to you by my upcoming course that is being offered again for the second time, Tarot Soul Journey. Tarot Soul Journey is an intimate group and one-on-one program of mine where you can confidently understand your intuitive gifts while working with your shadow as an ally and no longer an enemy. If you're curious on how to apply or to work with me through Tarot Soul Journey, if that resonates with you, you can check the link below. Getting into our video today, this is a big phrase that has been channeled through to me and has rippled effect all throughout my entire work. How I show up here, how I've shown up for my own intuitive work and guidance, and is really the direction of where I'm being taught to help guide and to help teach. So I'm here today on one of my favorite places to teach, so we can really dive in and talk about this. So the big phrase, this word that has come through to me is called the spiritual comfort zone. Now the spiritual comfort zone is very similar to what you would know as a regular comfort zone. Places in your life where you feel comfortable and are not ready to step out of that comfort zone, to expand. For whatever reason, fear is showing up for you in that way. It could be coming out of your comfort zone in your artistic pursuits, or coming out of your comfort zone online, or connecting with people, doing things that you necessarily wouldn't normally do but are still intuitively following because it feels good, but that fear is coming up. So the spiritual comfort zone is very similar, but we're just attaching that word spiritual to it. So we're talking about ways where you show up for yourself, in your space, in the collective, as your soul self. Are you showing up in a way that is feeling really comfortable for you and that you've already kind of tapped into and feel comfortable there? Where are you ready to expand in your own spirituality, in the sense where you connect to yourself or to others, and how you really serve through your gifts, expanding outside of that comfort zone. So when this first phrase came through to me, I really began to think of the ways where I have began to step out of my own spiritual comfort zone, well, within this whole year, but really intensely these past couple months, which is why it's probably felt like such like a roller coaster, as I'm sure many of you have felt as well, not only in astrology and the alignments of kind of what collectively we're all going through, but I'm sure you can resonate with this feeling of stepping up or being called to take on bigger spaces in your gifts and in your abilities, and really embody what you're trying to work towards, but are not really sure of the footing of how to get there, or ready to expand outside of that comfort zone. So some of the ways that I have personally chosen to break my own comfort zone in my spiritual, in my soul body, in my light body, a few ways. The first way was I began to channel outside of my regular altar space. When I first began my practice, the altar space that I've created here right behind me is a very comforting space for me. So that's where I would always go to connect with spirit, to connect with myself, to pull cards. And only over the past couple months have I felt the need or call to expand outside of just this bubble that I've created, to begin channeling and working with spirit outside, in spaces that I know of that tend to be a little bit more triggering for me. How can I show up there? So that's an example of how I have began to break my spiritual comfort zone in that way. I am an Akashic record reader, and in the Akashic records, similarly to that bubble, I've kind of always been channeling in one way since I began, which was just sitting with myself, beginning with a prayer, beginning with a meditation, and then going in. Breaking my spiritual comfort zone has really helped changed the way that I've viewed the records, how I've experienced the records, how things have come through to me in the records, because I've been taking chances. I've been taking things that are outside of that spiritual comfort zone. So just only a few weeks ago, I began going into the records while standing. So to actually take myself out of that sitting position and to stand and see where my hands and my body move me. And then I had the most profound experience in the records where I actually felt like what I was bringing forward was moving through my body. Those memories, those experiences, I could feel, sense, taste, like all these clear senses that are normally a little bit smaller for me or less noticeable began to vibrate and really expand. And there's a lot more on my list that I could talk about, but I would really love for you to think about your spiritual comfort zone, what that looks like. What are the practices that you come to every day without even thinking about it? And it begins to almost feel robotic. We might not think about it being robotic because it is our practice, because it is spiritual, but when we get really comfortable, we do kind of go into this rhythmic cycle of, I should be here because this is what I always do, this is how I always connect to spirit, it's the one way that I only know how. But as we begin to really expand in the collective, in our own light, we need to break free of these spiritual comfort zones, truly. Not only to increase our confidence in working with spirit or our own intuitive knowing, but to also kind of share these stories with other people too. To show the pure potential and possibilities that we really have as ourselves in spirit, as soul, really eliminating that thought or idea that those two things are separate, human and spirit. They're not. We don't need to follow this rhythmic pattern to get to channeling, to get to spirit, to receive messages. This is where we really step into this movement that's going around in the spiritual community, which is embodiment. We can't embody what we're channeling or what we're trying to harness and work with if we're too scared to step out of our spiritual comfort zone. So here are 3 simple things to get you started. First would be to journal about and recognize what your spiritual comfort zone looks like. Is it that you only pull tarot cards in a meditative and aligned space and emotion? Is it that you show up to your altar at the same exact time every single day? Take a moment to see what that looks like. It will come through very easily for you because this is a pattern, this is a rhythm that you're used to, almost like how you would get ready for in the morning. What does it look like as you're tapping in? And write that down. The second would be to see how you can just break apart that pattern a little bit. Do I really have to be sitting in my space to connect? Can I be standing? Could I move? Could I bring my hands into the initiation too? Could I maybe try my own meditation instead of following somebody else's, if that's something that you've been comfortable with? A lot of people ask me how I began reading tarot, how I began doing the Akashic records, and how I've done it intuitively. And this is like medicine that it's almost kind of difficult to share to every person, because it's almost like they're asking because they want the written instructions, which is what I don't teach. I don't teach the written instructions. I teach is how you can harness it for yourself. So again, like, how could you pull out some of that magic if you're used to getting it and receiving the instructions from someone else? So second would be to see how you can kind of break up that pattern. And the third would be to kind of let go, to surrender, and to begin shaking that up. Take courageous steps into playing in these fields that you have grown to be really comfortable in and used to. Letting really and truly your inner child just have fun and play for a moment, even if you don't go as deep as you're used to. You're still doing something. You're taking a big step into a new space, a new direction, which is just as equally exciting as going into a deep, long, hour-long meditation, which you might already be comfortable with. The whole point is we're trying to break that comfort zone to see what lies beyond the hidden door. So with that being said, if this word spiritual comfort zone really resonates with you, I ask you to explore it and to see how it fits for you. And if you would love to hear more about the spiritual comfort zone and how you can really break free of that and explore that in new exciting ways with support, let me know. That's why I'm here. I have my course, Tarot Soul Journey, coming out very, very soon. We're taking early enrollment in a few weeks. And inside that intimate group and one-on-one container, we are going to be diving into our own spiritual comfort zones individually and sharing with them in this intimate space and learning new ways to work with them. Tarot Soul Journey is a space where we dive into animal medicine, elemental medicine, and using those wisdoms with the support and the grounding structure of tarot in order to direct our energy and see what's really coming alive for us. So if that resonates with you or it feels aligned, you can click the link below to sign up, and I would love to hear from you. Before I go, I just want to let you know that if you enjoyed this video and would like to further support my work, you can subscribe, like, or let me know in the comments what you really thought about it. Thank you so much for being here, for taking an opportunity or a chance to click on this video, seeing this word, spiritual comfort zone, and what that really felt like for you as you clicked to learn about this. It's coming through very new for me, so I'm really excited to hear and feel the vibration of what that in turn makes you feel and how you can step foot and go outside of that spiritual comfort zone yourself. I hope you all have a beautiful, fantastic day, and I'll see you all really, really soon.